This video takes you through objective 37, finding the length of a line, and later on finding the midpoint of a line. So example 1, we have to find the length of a line segment from 3,1 to 7,8. The word segment just means part of a line. A line can go off to infinity, so the segment just runs between these 2 points. I'm going to give you two methods. You can watch the first one. If you're happy with it, just go with that and forward the video on. Or you can watch both methods and then decide for yourself which one you want to use. I would draw a sketch of this to get an idea of what's happening. It doesn't have to be accurate. You don't need to know exactly where they are, just to get an idea. So the first point is at 3, 1. Along the corridor 3, up the stairs 1. The second point is at 7, 8. So along the corridor 7 and up the stairs 8. We're trying to find the length of the line that runs from 3, 1 to 7, 8. To find the length of that line, we can form a triangle. And that triangle will be right angled. So we can then use Pythagoras' theorem to work out the length of that line. If we call the first point A and the second point B, we can work out the length of AB. AB is the hypotenuse. And Pythagoras' theorem says that the hypotenuse squared, or AB squared, is equal to the sum of the squares of the shorter sides. So how long are the shorter sides, first of all? Well, the bottom is from 3 to 7. It's a distance of 4. So that short side would be 4. And the other short side is from 1 up to up to 8. If I can read my own writing. So from 1 to 8 is a distance of 7. So 7 squared. So the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the shorter two sides. That would tell you that AB squared is equal to 16 plus 49, or AB squared is equal to 65. And if the hypotenuse squared is 65, then the hypotenuse would be the square root of 65. And then just work that out. And that gives two decimal places 8.06. Now there's no units for this here because it's just on a graph page, but you could put centimeters if there's a context or something like that. Let's look at the alternative method. The alternative method generalizes and takes the first point and calls it x1, y1 for the first x coordinate and the first y coordinate, and the second point x2, y2 to indicate the second x coordinate and a y coordinate. Then how do you find out the hypotenuse squared, the length of that line? Let's call that L. Well, L squared would be the bottom line squared, the short side, which would be, that distance is this x coordinate minus this x value, which gives you, well, 7 minus 3 in this case, but more generally x2 minus x1. And then you square that short side. The other short side then would be 8 take away 1, which is 7 in this case, or more generally, it's the second y value minus the first y values. So y2 minus y1 squared. And then the length of that line, when you work that out, x2 minus x1 squared and y2 minus y1 squared, you square root that. So if I was doing this question, using that formula, what I'd need to know is, right, what are my x1, y1, what's my x2, y2? So in this question, your x1 is going to be your first x value, which is 3, and your y1 is your y value 1. For the second one, x2 is going to be 7, and y2 would be 8. And then it's just a matter of subbing those values in. So the length of that line would be the square root of 7 take away 3 squared plus 8 take away 1 squared. And you can put that in the calculator, it'll do it all for you. And it'll give you the same answer, 8.06. Really good method because it's really quick. You just go straight to that. Really poor method possibly because you have to memorize that equation. If you don't know that equation, then you're stuck. I'll not try and give you my preference, you can decide for yourself, but either you decide to memorize that formula and know what these values mean in it, or from first principles you just sketch it out and then you can use Pythagoras' theorem. So either take down one of these solutions, this one, or rewind it back when it was nice and clean without all the writing on it, take down the other one. On to then the midpoint of a line. We have to find the midpoint of the line segment AB, where A is 2, 3 and B is 10, 8. Again, a wee sketch would make it clear to see what's going on. Don't try and do it to scale, that takes forever. It can be a bit of a cheat to use to scale, and it's clear to see, but if they give you really hard values then you're stuck. So we want an approach that will work all the time with awkward values. So what do we have here? We've got 2, 3, so 2 across and 3 up, and then we have 10 across and 8 up, and there's our line segment AB. So just a sketch takes 2 seconds. Now if we're going to try and find the midpoint, that's the middle value. Now by inspection, by looking at it, you could use a technique that to go from 2 to 10 is going a distance of 8. So the midpoint would be going half that distance across, which would be 4. So if we go 2 across plus 4 is 6, so that midpoint would be 6 for the x value. For the y value, well, it goes from 3 up to 8, the line does. So it's going up a distance of 5. So if you got the middle of that distance, the halfway point of that distance, up 2.5, 3 plus 2.5 would give you 5.5. So that technique works. Another technique, another way to look at it is that 6 is the middle between 2 and 10. It's the midpoint of 2 and 10, or in other words, it's the average value between 2 and 10. If you got the average of 2 and 10, it would be 6. Same for the y values. If you got the average for 3 and 8, the average value for 3 and 8, 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So you can use the technique that I've mentioned, or you can use the fact we've got the midpoint equals average x, average y. Now that's a formula. And what is it in this case? We would have the average of the x values, that's 2 plus 10 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, 6. And the average of the y values, they're 3 and 8. So add 3 and 8 to get 11 and half it to get 5.5. So that's your midpoint there, 5.6, 5.5. Another way to write the formula, maybe a bit more fancy, or more mathematical, I should say. If we call A x1, y1, and B x2, y2, then what we're doing when we find the average x, we're getting the first x value and the second x value, and we're getting the average of those two. And then same for y, we're adding the y values and dividing them by 2 to get the average, to get the middle, to get the midpoint. So whatever you prefer, you can use that formula. It's the most mathematical one. Or if you just want to remember it's the average x and average y, that's fine. And also the technique at the start we used, I would stay away from it, but it does make sense too. I think this is a quicker long run once if you know this one.